Hola, hola y bienvenidos a este nuevo episodio de Estas en Familia. Soy Cristina
And Israel.
y ahora tenemos un invitado súper especial. Preséntate, por favor.
Mi nombre es Miguel Gavilanes.
Ok, so Miguel está aquí y está para hablarnos sobre su experiencia en el tópico de going into the military service here in the States. Okay. We have talked in previous episodes about the whole situation of going into college, pero
College isn't for everybody,
Yeah.
and we have to talk about the different alternatives that we have, coming into the United States. And what do I do now? So, like I said, college isn't for everybody, and there's other alternatives like the military. And we want to present our cousin here who has gone that route. So, tell us more about yourself.
Okay, wait. So the whole pretense is you came here when? How old were you? You came from Ecuador. How old were you when you came?
That's right. So my parents migrated here when I was about 9 years old.
So you've been here since you were 9.
Right.
Okay, so by definition, that makes you a 1.5, which we talked about before.
Right.
So you were already en la escuelita, ya estabas todo chévere formando tu vida allá, y de repente, boom.
Right.
They didn't ask you. They just put you on a plane, and here you are.
That's right. I was actually already in 4th grade when I was over there, and just had to pick everything up and migrate, and here we are.
Start from zero.
How did you feel migrating over here? Was it something that you looked forward to, or was it something that you were like, oh, shit, do I really have to?
I mean, as a kid, you don't really have a choice, right?
Pero no había un poco de excitement, así como, ay, me voy a Estados Unidos, me voy a viajar, ¿me entiendes? O,
I'm going to go see Mickey.
To be honest, I don't think I look forward to it. I had the family from my mother's side too that I was really close to, and I felt like almost like an emptiness, like I was leaving something behind.
You were abandoning them.
Right. So it was exciting for the trip, but I always felt like I needed to go back.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So you managed to adjust over here. Was it an easy adjustment?
It definitely wasn't easy. Especially as you guys know, where we landed, Irvington wasn't the best place for a kid. So
It wasn't immigrant friendly, I'll tell you that.
right.
So we talked about how we moved out of Irvington because we couldn't hang out outside or do anything like that. But you guys, your family stayed in Irvington, and you went through all of your elementary, middle, and high school in Irvington.
That's correct. Yeah.
So for those people that don't really know about Jersey, Irvington during the 90s when we came here, it was the equivalent to Compton over in LA, right?
Pretty much.
Just about.
Yeah.
So you
State troopers on every corner.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to. You lived an experience that was different from ours because of the area in which you grew up.
That's correct.
Did you experience hostility because you were Latino, like an immigrant, or do you think that was just the norm that people in that area were experiencing?
Well, being that it was very few Hispanics in the area, it does you definitely experience some hostility. They look at you different. It's like you were mentioning before. You almost kind of feel out of place. Like you don't belong there.
So you had to adjust real quick.
Right.
Pero tú tenías como amigos y, de lo que vagamente yo recuerdo, tú tenías amigos, tú hiciste de ese environment, you adjusted to the point where you tenías una sort of sense of community.
I wouldn't say that far, but yeah, I mean, you have to adjust. You have to, kind of make friends and, move on with your life, like make the best out of the situation, I guess you could say.
So I think you had like a very different upbringing because of where your parents decided to stay and raise the family.
Right.
We talked about how we moved down to Newark, down Neck, and how we mostly had friends that were first generation immigrants also. Being that you stayed in Irvington, I don't think there was a lot of first generation immigrants that you had a friendship with.
That's correct.
So you had to adjust to automatically making friends with like second generation or
Who were your friends like growing up? Like who do you like? Oh, me voy a la casa de fulano. Did you have that freedom to say me voy a la casa de mi amigo? Así
I
como
can vaguely remember just one or two friends, that I remember going, play at their house, but mostly it was family, a friend that lived right across the street, Jose, was for the most part it's the kids that were on my street, on the neighborhood, and even then, like I said, it was a tough neighborhood, so you didn't know who to trust. So,
and then also I think his experience is different too because he is the firstborn of his family.
True that.
Right. So,
right.
Okay, so yeah, you make the best out of it. You finish middle school, get into high school, and then what? We're going into high school. Did you?
Hold on. So let me ask you a question. Let's rewind a little bit. Right now, after your whole growing up, how do you identify yourself? I'm not talking about you identify as a table or anything like that. How do you identify yourself as more Ecuadorian or more American, and why? I was telling my sister that I identify myself as more American because I spent most of my life here, and I have most of my friends. I wouldn't say friends, but most of the people I know that I grew up with, I can't assimilate to the culture, and I don't see myself assimilating more to my Hispanic side. How about
it's
you?
It's like we were saying, we came here when we were a little older. I was 9, so I have I have memories from Ecuador, and those roots I can't just forget them. They're there. So I don't want to say I feel completely 100% American. You know what I mean? Like you can't forget those roots. But 30 years in this country, you kind of become more part of this culture.
Yes.
Si alguien te pregunta a ti, ¿cómo te están conociendo? Y te dice, me llamo Miguel. ¿De dónde eres?
De Ecuador.
Yeah, enseguida, de Ecuador.
100%.
100%, sí.
Yeah.
Ok, entonces ahora sí, ya estás en la high school. Y en la high school te empiezan a hablar todos, ¿no? De que, ya tienes que empezar a estudiar para los exámenes para entrar a la universidad, y etcétera, etcétera. En algún momento, o sea, nosotros sabemos que tú estás aquí porque fuiste al military. ¿Qué branch del military did you go to?
Went to U.S. Marines.
Okay, so and I was joking with Lou before you got here. I said I got to make sure that I get it right because you guys, and I'm talking about the military folk. It's like pega puñetes y yo digo the wrong military.
Oh yeah, it's
like,
always that little rivalry between.
Yes, voy a decir que fui al army y me mete un chueco. Okay, so tú fuiste a los Marines. What made you decide while you were in high school? Eso era lo que ibas a hacer.
Why did you decide to go to the Marines? Was it something that you were at work and then like a recruiter came up? You're like, you want to join?
It was actually my senior year in high school. I'm just sitting there wondering, like, okay, what's next? Like, to be honest, I didn't have the best grades, so I'm thinking, like, like, what am I gonna do? Go to community college or go get a job? And it just so happened that one day there was, a recruiter there, Marine recruiter at the high school. And I started talking to him, and he's like, well, what do you think of doing? And I said, I have no idea what I'm going to do in my life. And he said, well, there's opportunities. Take this information, take it to your parents, see what they think. And I did that. My parents were completely against it. They didn't want me to go, especially my mother. But I said it took a couple weeks, maybe a few months, and then I convinced them, and I said, look, I don't have the best grades. There's nothing else I could possibly do, but it's either this or go get a job.
But so it was never in your brain, like, oh,
You didn't have a calling for it.
yeah, como, no eso, sino en tu cerebro no tenías la noción de yo quiero seguir esta carrera en algún momento. O sea, la universidad no era un choice para ti, o era.
No,
Oh.
it was never really a choice because I knew I wasn't a good student, so I knew going to university or going to college it just wasn't for me. So to me it was either go to I think before I was brought that opportunity for the Marines, all I thought was I need to find a job. You know?
Did your parents ever push you to go to school, like to go to like university,
Higher education?
Yeah, higher education.
They did. You know, every parent wishes that on their kids. You know, but no, it just wasn't an option for me. I just never saw school as an option. You know? Even though after I came back from the Marines, I did go back to school and got an associate, but that was something I wanted to do. And not being pushed to do it. Right.
Okay.
And around the time that all this was going on with the recruiter, was this pre or post 9/11?
This was pre 9/11.
Pre 9/11.
No, I'm sorry. No, 2001. No, I went in 2002, so it was post 9/11.
Yeah, and did that have any influence into your decision into going into the Marines? Because
I think in a way, yes, because everything that's going on, you say, we have to go back, we have to defend the country and all these things. And I was, 17, 18 at the time. You kind of believe all these things, which, that's another topic.
Eso te iba a decir. So, ya, les convences a tus papás. Y eso era lo que te quería preguntar. So, 17, para entrar a los Marines, si tienes 17 años, tus papás tienen que firmar diciendo que they agree, ¿no es cierto?
Right. At least just for you to at least start the process, go take the ASVAB and all those things. Once you graduate and you're 18 years old, then you really don't need
You don't need that.
No.
So, was that your case? ¿Ya tenías 18?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Right. But I did start the process when I was still 17, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, el process, tú dices, para una persona como yo, que no sé el process, ¿cuál es el process?
Okay, well, it's been like 20 years, but from what I remember, they take you down to the recruiting office. They make you take a small test first, right? Just to see where you stand. And then if you score high enough, then they set you up a date so you could go down to, I think it's called MAPS, to take the ASVAB. And depending on how you score there on those tests, then they basically bring out the list of, what jobs you qualify for.
So, es como un examen de matemáticas y lectura.
Yeah, it's like math, science, English, like the most basic.
Okay.
So you got the military version of the SAT.
Yeah, pretty much. Here,
Right.
I have it up on the screen right now. Right there. The ASVAB. It's
There
the
you go.
Armed Services Vocational Aptitude Battery.
Oh, that's
There you
kind of nice. So they, basado en tu vocación, ellos there's something similar that they do at college. So, side note, donde ellos, si vas como un undecided student, ellos te dan un examen similar a eso, que te ayuda a ver dónde estaría mejor tu major. So,
Right.
esto es casi similar.
Right.
Te ayudan
Similar,
a ver.
yeah. That's how
Okay.
they bring out the list of jobs that you.
So that determines if you're going to be doing open heart surgery or cutting grass.
Right, exactly. Pretty much.
So, okay, so rebobinemos. No, te fuiste a los Marines porque había alguien que fue a ofrecerte entrar a los Marines. Si hubiera alguien ahí que te ofrecía entrar a la Fuerza Armada o al Navy o al Army, ¿hubieras considerado las otras ramas militares o era porque solamente ese man estaba ahí?
Actually, no. After I, did my research, obviously, and I looked into the Army and the other ones, but as as a kid, you're just like, oh, it's the Marines. It's the toughest one, so I have to go for the best one. So.
He said the other ones, like, they don't even exist. Like Space Force, what is that?
So you did look into the other dramas military.
They just didn't catch my attention.
Okay. So, ¿qué es lo que más te llamó la atención de los Marines que te hizo decidir por ese lado?
Like I said, you kind of not really thinking of the big picture here. You just I want to be completely honest. Like, you just went in there, they just look so badass in the uniform, and
you're young like, and impressionable.
Right. Exactly. And I had the option to do motor T, infantry, and one other thing. And I was like,
I'm picturing infantry como soldadito con pistola. What is motor T?
It's basically the guys mechanics for. Oh,
okay. ¿Y qué más dijiste? Motor T, infantry, ¿qué más?
There was something else. I can't remember what it was.
So it wasn't important because
it
you
wasn't
didn't pick
important.
it.
I didn't even look at it. It was between those two.
Okay, so what did you pick?
I went to infantry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you were boots in the ground type of guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so ya pasaste todos los exámenes y de ahí qué?
Well, I graduated high school, I believe it was June 23rd, 24th of 2002, and I was literally in boot camp not even 2 weeks later. July 2nd, I was already in boot camp.
Okay, so el boot camp, se sabe que todos los boot camps parecen que tiran para Carolina del Norte, ¿no es cierto?
Right, I was in South Carolina.
Oh, South Carolina. Sí, es North and South Carolina es donde les mandan. ¿Cuánto tiempo es el boot camp?
It's supposed to be 3 months. For the Marines, it's 3 months.
It's supposed to be, or
yeah, it's supposed to be 3 months. I was in boot camp for 5 months because I had a fracture while I was in there, and I had to stay longer until I recuperated my wrist, and then it became longer for me. But yeah, it's supposed to be 3 months.
Okay. So you saw your graduating class leave after 3 months.
Yeah.
You should have told him to give you a double check.
Right?
I did it twice.
Okay, so he's talking about double check. Do you get paid for being in el boot camp?
Yeah, you start getting paid from the day you arrive.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not much, but yeah, you start getting paid.
Okay. And then how many years did you sign up for? Porque eso es como así, like...
Right, so I went in as a reservist, but since it was post 9/11, the unit I was with was activated most of the time. That was it. So not most of the time, but the first like 3 or 4 years, they were always being activated. It was a total of 8 years. It was 6 years reserves and then 2 years inactive reserves.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Pero tú sabías que ibas por 8 años. Tú firmaste los 8 años desde el principio.
Right. Yeah.
No era como firmaste por 6 y
te
metieron 2 de yapa.
Yeah. No.
Okay, so tú fuiste con el conocimiento que ibas por 8 años.
Yeah, you know what you're getting yourself into.
Okay. Y sobre lo que yo sé es que tú, una vez que firmas, es como la sirenita, así de firmas your boys away. That's it. No hay manera de salirse del contrato. O si hay alguna manera.
I mean, if you get hurt, and there's different ways to get discharged, but it's probably you could get medically discharged, you could get dishonorably discharged, but you don't want that.
Claro. Vas a hacer alguna mudería y te botan. Mm-hmm. Pero ya salir botado ya es no conseguir trabajos.
Right.
Cosas así.
Yeah, it definitely affects your life.
Okay.
Do you think, like, what kind of things did the recruiter tell you, like, as far as what the military could offer you?
And was it true?
A lot of it is,
did you get a Hellcat? Where's your Hellcat, man?
A lot of it is, that's how they catch you. It's school, they help you with school. They, medical benefits, life insurance and all these things. So they make it enticing, As a young kid, you're like, what?
And as Israel said, but did But did they actually, did it pull through? O era una cosa de false advertisement?
No, the thing is it's true, but there's certain requirements you got to meet. So
there's a lot of fine print that you gotta sign.
exactly.
Look into.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So like there's certain time that you had to put in to be able to get certain amount of benefit towards education.
Ah,
We're-
Pero
we're-
vos estabas ahí por 8 años. A vos te debieron dar todo y un poquito más. O hay gente que hace más de 8 años.
Yeah, the thing is, it depends. You know, if you're reserve or you're active duty,
Oh, yeah,
all that.
Yeah.
Were there at that point when you signed up? Were you a citizen already?
No, I was still. I wasn't a citizen yet.
You
I
were
was
still just
yes,
a resident.
Yeah, resident, right?
Yeah. Is that
But,
something that they brought up, like the opportunity to become a citizen?
They did. They
Yeah.
did bring it up once we came back from Iraq. They actually, I remember they were taking a list of guys that wanted to proceed to be a citizen. It never. I remember them asking for names and things like that, but I don't think anything came out of it. I actually had to do it on my own.
Okay.
Did you meet people who were there and were promised, like as a first gen type of situation, ve, métete a los Marines, nosotros te damos los papeles?
Did you meet other immigrants that when you asked them like, hey,
Or
why are
not-
you here?
Claro.
They were told like, oh, I was in Home Depot, and they said, join the Navy, join the Marines, and then like, you get your papers.
No, I never met anyone like that. Everybody that was in there, like, they were either residents or citizens.
So I think back then they didn't have that option, because now I'm hearing more and more that immigrants are joining the military to get their papers,
As a
not only
way
for themselves but
as a-
also for their family.
Right.
Mm.
As a
Uh,
Have you heard anything about that?
I have not. I didn't encounter anyone in that situation.
Y yo creo que todavía no era. Los Dreamers se puso algo como grande desde el 2007, 2008. Ahí es donde empezaron a empujar, ni siquiera, más tiempo, del 2010. Ahí empecé yo a escuchar esta cuestión de los Dreamers, ¿no? Entonces, tú estabas en el servicio militar en 2002.
Yeah. I mean, I found statistics here.
Dude.
Hold on, pull it up. Between 2013 and 2018, 44,000 non-citizens listed. And 17% of those serving in the military are of Hispanic origin. So
Okay.
that's
Sounds
a
about
pretty
right.
big chunk.
17%. I mean, that de 44,000, 17%, yeah, es un número
Somewhere around
relativamente
8,000.
grande también.
Mhm.
Sí.
It's not bad.
That's a lot of people
Yeah.
tratando de conseguir
The American dream.
the American dream.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, pero tú hiciste la ciudadanía por aparte.
Right.
That's another topic. I want to talk about that citizenship test. Eso en otro tópico. Vamos a tener que dive into.
I mean, definitely once you're in the military, getting that citizenship, it makes it so much easier. Like, you just walk in there, they already know you're in the military. So,
They're
if
like,
you-
I salute you.
yeah, they basically, if they ask you one or two questions, and then, you're on your way.
Okay.
Como es, I value
definitely
your
helps.
service.
Yes. Yeah, and it is. I mean, esa es una de las cosas, que en Estados Unidos hay bastantes libertades. Aquí la gente hace y deshace. Con esto de que la libertad de expresión y O sea, en Estados Unidos sí tiene el mundo de las oportunidades, pero el mundo de las oportunidades se paga, y se paga con el servicio de personas como tú, que está yendo a defender de buena manera las libertades que nosotros tenemos, ¿no?
Right.
Que los regular citizens tenemos. Pero bueno, eso es otras de las cosas que agradecemos de estar acá, ¿no? Ya nos trajeron sin querer, estamos aquí, pero ya hicimos en nuestra vida lo que mejor pudimos, ¿no?
Right.
Take those lemons and squeeze them.
Yeah. Can I ask a question real quick? Just going back to boot camp. What were your thoughts the first day of boot camp?
Oh, man, that's... it's definitely a nerve-wracking experience, It's
Traumatizing.
I mean, you see videos that you can pull it up on YouTube, and it's exactly like that, It's like they come up in a bus, get the F out of my bus, everybody rushing, everybody, get off, and then there's these little yellow footprints on the floor, and, you just, everybody yelling in your face, they trying to break you down from the minute you arrive, so.
It's all mental.
Yeah, so it's definitely nerve-wracking, As an 18-year-old, you're like,
Yeah, I remember.
A mí nadie me ningunea.
I remember you told me a while back, you're like, that they break you down, they rebuild you.
Right. That's exactly what they do. That's what boot camp's about. They break you down to, mentally, physically, they break you down. And then, towards the end, they build you back up into what they expect a Marine to be.
That's a big keyword, towards the end. So you have to go through a lot.
And you had to go through el regular time plus 2 more months. ¿Qué te tenían haciendo cuando estabas con el brazo fracturado?
You can't do anything. You're literally sitting. It's like being locked up. You're in a I don't want to call it a cell, but you're in a squad bay, and you're there with, I don't know, maybe another 30, 40 guys, and there's nothing to do but stare at each other. There's nothing to do.
Pero no era así como, okay, tu brazo no funciona, vaya a trotar.
You didn't have like,
¿No?
You didn't go in there and be like, hey, did anybody bring in some cars today?
Yeah. No, we'll probably get like an hour to watch TV like towards the end of the day, and that's about it. It's like being locked up.
Yeah,
Wow.
I have a video of what's it called, the boot camp thing.
A ver.
Hold on, let me pause over here.
It's a pressure cooker for 12 weeks. Under the pressure of an intimidating drill instructor, someone that's putting you under the scrutiny of attention to detail every single day, and to a certain degree, everything you do is never going to
For
be good.
you, I'm pretty sure this was nothing like new, because I'm pretty sure you experienced that with your dad.
At
the house.
Oh man.
Do you think that you had a better time than other cultures acclimating?
Let's just say I got used to it pretty quick. It wasn't as, like I said, it was intimidating the day you get there, but once you get the hang of it,
Right.
within weeks you're,
Sir, yes, sir.
yeah.
When you left the boot camp and you came back here, because they give you like a period to come back home, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it's 10 days.
What did your family say about the new you?
I was definitely skinnier. Yeah,
Grandma probably tried to feed you.
Yeah. You could definitely see the difference, right? As far as like discipline, in 10 days I was here, I would get up and make my bed so tight you could flip a coin on it. It's those little things that they brainwash you basically. And it's those little things that people notice.
And that's what it is. It's a long period of time that they brainwash you into something that you want to be.
Right.
Or what they want you to be.
They want you to be.
So, terminas ya el bootcamp, te gradúas, regresas, and you're like, oh my God, sopita, a comer
Right.
algo rico,
Right.
y te pasas aquí los 10 días y después regresas.
Mhm.
Y de ahí,
Then they send you to your school. So whatever your job was, if you were motor T, infantry, like I went to infantry school, and that was another, if I recall correctly, I think it was like 2-3 months of infantry school. And it just so happens that once I got done with infantry school, they were deploying to Iraq. So it was literally, I graduated, I went, checked into my unit, and 2 weeks later they said, hey, pack your stuff. We're going to Iraq.
ya están ready.
Yeah.
Did you regret it at any point?
I think while I was in Iraq, yeah, there was a few nights that I was like, what am I doing here?
¿Cuánto tiempo estuviste overseas? En total.
I think it was about 6 months, 6 months maybe.
Todo de seguido.
Right, in Iraq, yeah. In Iraq.
Pero, o sea, eso fue, después de los 6 meses regresaste y seguiste en infantry school, o qué ya pasó después de eso?
No, we came back, then we got activated again. We were always training. So, we went to Japan, we would go to Norway, we would go to different countries and just keep training. Went to Mongolia, different places.
You say it like, me fui
We went
a-
downtown.
Yeah, like,
Got some Chinese food.
so, has viajado. Eso se puede considerar como un beneficio que te dio el servicio militar.
Sí,
el
sí,
hecho de que,
sí. Eso es un gran beneficio. Eso, it's, the fact that you get to travel for free, basically,
Ujú.
When they said travel the world, they wasn't lying.
No.
Okay.
You do.
So, ¿qué países conociste en este training dices Mongolia, ¿qué más dijiste?
Japan.
I hear a lot of people, ¿cuál es el?
What the hell are they doing in Japan?
Yeah, because a couple of friends from high school from me
They're guarding Godzilla over there.
have gone and stationed in Japan. Like, ¿qué conexión hay allá? O solamente hay un lugar de entrenamiento allá específico?
Yeah, that's what we went for. I can't really be specific about it, but we went
Transformers.
We just went.
Get a picture with Optimus
training.
Prime.
Climbing. They had us climbing Mount. What was that? Mount Fiji.
Mount Fuji.
Fiji or Fuji?
I think Fuji.
Fuji.
Fiji son las islas, Fuji es la montaña.
Mount Fuji.
Mount
ves?
Fuji.
Oh, no, hold on. That's the name of a restaurant. Hold on.
They named the mountains after the restaurant.
Is it? Yeah, it's Fuji.
Entonces ya te fuiste a hacer todas estas cosas, estabas en training y tú dices, they activated us, así como que les tienen, y tiene sentido, ¿no? Que están training. Oh, shit, we need them. Okay,
Right.
vaya. Shit, we need them.
Yeah, that's basically how it works.
Y la unidad tuya, ¿cómo se llama el grupo con el que estás?
I was
Like in school, they're your classmates.
Tu conjunto.
Squad? Battalion?
I was
Company?
2nd Battalion, 25th Marines, if I'm not mistaken.
So second, tu battalion.
Right.
Tu battalion que empiezan, o sea, hacen todo junto. So they become like your family.
Right.
O hay gente
well, you
que...
don't know everybody in the battalion because it's different companies. So I was Gulf Company, and then there's different companies. So they're positioned in different areas throughout, the nation.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but your company, I'm pretty sure you got, like the close-knit group that you're...
Yeah.
Claro, como...
Yeah, especially like, to break it down, it's like you got Gulf Company and then you got, your 3 platoons or 4 platoons, whatever you got in there.
O sea,
Yeah.
es como un funnel.
Right.
¿En qué parte tú cabías? Si acá está el platoon.
There's Gulf Company, then is I believe I was in 1st platoon or 2nd platoon.
Yeah, ese es el más chiquito. Ese es un compartimiento adentro ya.
Right.
Okay. So
Uno de los pelotones, Yeah. And then there's a squad. So there's like 3 squads in one platoon.
Okay.
Right.
So ahí es, I'm trying to get to like that close knit.
Yeah, so your squad is basically that's your family, your squad, which is considered like 3 fire teams. And each fire team is about 3 or 4 guys.
So estamos hablando de cuántos en total. Do the math, because my brain ain't mathing today.
No.
So
it was more like a fraternity amongst you guys? Like, did you feel accepted there?
Yeah, because you get so close, you see these guys every day. They sleeping with you. They, you do everything. These guys, so they become family.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all like different types of cultures.
Oh yeah.
One thing that I saw, I can't remember where I saw it, is like only in the military you're gonna have brothers that don't look like you, that don't come anywhere near where you come from, and it's like so diverse that when you get together, it's like a Chinese person, and a Hispanic person, and a white person.
I could pull that up. One of the guys from the military, he actually sent me this.
You still keep in contact with these people?
Oh yeah.
They're your family?
Yeah, some of them. Yeah, not all, but yeah.
Yeah, so you were right, actually. So it's 3 squads to a platoon. And a platoon work together to create a company. So in a platoon, there's an average around 45 men.
45.
Yeah. So 45 divided
by that sounds like our family.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
That's basically it.
So you can show it at the camera.
Where am I?
Right there.
It looks like
Military friends.
It looks like a crazy group of hangover rejects.
So you have
That's what it is.
Alguien con un tear tattoo, un vaquero, un chinito.
It looks like a new age boy band.
Exactly. Like, what do we all have in common? Hurrah!
That's it.
Yeah, so that was my next thing. So, like, el hecho de que se convierte en tu familia, en esta fraternity, como dice él, ¿no? Si tú vas al college, it kind of works to your advantage que si eres part of a fraternity, tú puedes aplicar a cualquier trabajo y tú dices, oh, soy de la fraternity Kappa Delta, whatever.
Right.
Tú tienes ese, I don't know if you would call it an advantage to say, yo soy los Marines. Si es que tú aplicas a cualquier trabajo ahora, el hecho de que tú pongas en la aplicación que tú eres military, eso te da un...
Yeah, especially now because of a lot of guys that have served already, have retired. They own companies. They own, like trucking companies. They own all types of, their own businesses. So if you have prior military, you go to these places, looking for work, and they see, you have a good record, that, you're honorably discharged, they automatically, it puts you on top of the list.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
As a matter of fact, the reason I got the job I got now is because of the military.
Okay, so cuenta como uno de los advantages que te dieron. Okay, yeah. So vamos a rebobinar. Tú ya saliste, hiciste tus 8 años y tú mencionaste brevemente que después viniste a hacer tu associates. Right. So tú viniste y el associates en la universidad hiciste con la ayuda del military.
Right. Mm-hmm.
¿Qué tipo de ayuda te dieron ellos?
If I remember correctly, it was they give you money towards your books. Like I was mentioned before, depending on the time served and things like that, they give you a certain money for towards school. Also your stay, like if you need if you're staying in campus and things like that. But they're very open. You can even take what are those like trade schools. So they're very like what do you call it? Diverse, correct. That's the word.
Con las oportunidades que ellos te dan. O sea,
Right.
ellos te dicen, acá está la plata, usted vea cómo gasta.
Right.
Pero edúquese.
Right.
No es como, tienes plata ya gratis.
Right. Yeah.
Ok. So, ahí, viendo que tienes los beneficios, ¿vas a la universidad o...?
Yeah.
Porque
because,
decidiste, ya tengo ahí plata, voy a la universidad. Si hubieras tenido la plata, ¿hubieras ido a la universidad?
Probably not. That's, like I said, school wasn't for me, but, once, things in life, change your perspective, right? Like, I had my daughter, when I was 23. And, at that point, you're not like, oh, well, I just don't want to go to school. You're kind of like, well, I need to go to school so I can, get a better job and provide for my kids, so.
I think it's also the discipline that the military kind of,
right.
Built into you.
Right.
Estabas haciendo algo. Entonces, yo no sabía que tenías un asociado. ¿Cuál es tu major? ¿De qué tienes el asociado?
I went to the right for computers and electronics.
Oh, okay. So, ¿se considera como un trade school? No, DeVry es un college.
Right.
Okay. So, pero no te dedicas a eso. O sea, sacaste tu degree, pero técnicamente
right.
no estás ejerciendo tu profesión, como dirían los abuelitos, ¿no? No estás ejerciendo la profesión.
Right.
Okay. ¿Alguna vez trabajaste en eso o?
Kind of, sort of. Actually, from the school, they, how they do job placement. They sent me to this warehouse where they were implementing this whole like wireless system, and I went there for that, helped them set it up, and then I kind of just fell more into the manager position, and then the company moved, and that kind of fell apart, and I just never looked back into that field.
¿No te interesa?
No.
Which only solidifies that college isn't for everybody. Like
This guy, he's gonna have T-shirts made that says "College ain't for everybody."
college ain't for everybody, because at the end of the day, it's just a piece of paper with your name and it says associates or bachelors, and it really doesn't teach you anything unless that it says teacher or doctor on it.
Right.
Or lawyer.
Or lawyer. True.
Okay, so tú hiciste el asunto este porque tenías la facilidad del dinero que estaba ahí. Eso sí te dio el tío Sam.
Yeah.
Okay. Y el asunto este de nosotros hablamos en un episodio previo del imposter syndrome, right?
Mm-hmm.
De que you feel like you don't really belong in a specific place, or like you have to work extra hard to make sure that you kind of fit in with what is happening. Do you consider that you have felt that imposter syndrome situation in school or in the military or after you came out of the military? Do you...
The difference in culture and everything, ever since I got here, I felt out of place. But in anything you do in life, you kind of like starting off, you always kind of feel like, is this really for me? Is this, am I good enough for this? But I think it's just up to you to like prove to yourself first, and then prove to everyone else that, you are capable of doing, anything you put you set your mind to.
You said when you got here to this country, or when you came back from the military, you felt
No, he said when he first got here.
Yeah.
So you're not telling me when you were in the military, you just looked around and you're 18, you're impressionable, and you weren't feeling like this imposter in order to fit in. You're like, rawr, rawr.
No, you do.
Anybody have more crayons? Rawr.
Yeah, you do feel out of place. You do.
I mean, you feel out of place until the end, because then at the end you kind of all went through the same experience, so you have that bonding experience.
That's what I was gonna get into. Like, in that breaking that you say that they do, like they're breaking you. Are they also breaking that sense of I don't belong here? Do they break you down to just the bare bones?
You stop thinking individually. You start thinking more as a team.
Okay.
And do you think that you needed to go to the military in order to feel that type of thing, or
belonging?
Do you think that's or do you think that's something that you might have been able to experience out?
I don't think you have the same experiences out in the world. Like it's very unique. That whole military experience is very unique. I don't think I would have been able. I don't even think if I went to college, I would have been able to experience that.
Mm-hmm. I could say that because I went to college and I don't think I experienced that close-knit type of situation.
I think it's because everybody has their own agenda. Everybody's doing their own thing versus the military is like, nope, you're doing everything I tell you to do.
And everybody's facing one way, moving in the same direction.
Right.
Right, so you learn to make that sense. That's pretty awesome. Wow. So, el Israel te preguntó si es que encontraste otros inmigrantes como tú. En realidad, en tu grupo, ¿cómo era que se llamaba? El platoon, el squad. En tu squad era un poquito de todos, no había así. Hablemos o sea, nosotros hablamos de latinos en general, ¿no? Se oye mucho de la gente mexicana porque obviamente there's more Mexican people, Mexican and Mexican American in America, right? Did you encounter anybody latino así de que tú tengas en común una comunidad de decir, oh, vos eres ecuatoriano?
Yeah, you actually meet from all places, I became friends with, like I said, Mexicans, Ecuadorians, Peruvians, Puerto Ricans, all it's a mixture of everything in there. So, and you stop looking at each other like, look, where you from? We just know we're Marines, and that's it.
We're just all brown and green right here.
Yeah, that's it.
Brown and green. They're not green.
We're all green.
No, the uniform is though. No, it's brown.
No es
And
brown.
green. Yeah, it is.
¿De qué color es tu uniforme? Dependiendo de qué
It
sea el
depends.
uniforme, porque
Right.
para
Depends.
diferentes
We have-
cosas tienen diferentes uniformes,
Right.
¿no?
We have the green, brown, white.
I thought
I
don't know.
remember when I saw that picture of you in the white and the blue with the white cap.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, I think that was the moment I was like, yeah, I want to join the Marines. And like just
it's
like
that uniform, man.
no, but it's also because I was proud of you. Like I remember like writing letters to you and just
Yeah.
being like, damn, it's like I
You-
want to be
You guys
like
have
him.
no idea how much those letters meant to me while I was out there. You kind of get that lonely feeling, while you're out there, and those letters, coming from my little cousins meant the world.
Yeah.
So.
No, it's like I remember writing them back when Grandma used to live in that back room.
Yeah.
I would go back there and I'd sit and I'd write, and then I remember I told her, and bro, the fucking ass whooping that I got for even thinking about that.
About joining?
Yeah, my dad whooped me, my grandma yelled at me. And then when I was turning 18, I found a recruiter at school and I was talking to him. And I went, I did that pre-test,
Yeah.
and then my mom found some stuff. And then I got yelled at by her, I got yelled at by grandma, so.
Yeah. I don't know.
It was worse than finding weed in your room.
So I think they would have preferred that I had weed.
Like
No,
what I
it's-
told you about talking about them recruiters.
It's because, around that time the war was still going on and they didn't want,
Yeah.
me to go. But still.
It was
dude,
definitely a hard time on my mom, So I can see where she's coming from. I can see why Grandma and Thea would have been completely against it. I saw the pain and hurt in my mom's eyes, and every time I would call, while being in Iraq, it wasn't many calls, but, she would just break down and, I wouldn't wish that on anyone.
Now, as a parent,
Yeah.
if your son came and said, Dad, I want to join the military, what would you say?
Better be the Marines.
No, actually, the funny thing is my daughter, my 15-year-old, she at one point she came to me and she said, Dad, I've been thinking about, the military. I said, just don't join the Marines. I said, Air Force, or,
Go the safe
Navy,
route, go to Air Force.
And, score high. Go as an officer. Don't go as enlisted, Go as an officer, get your college degree, and go in as an officer. So that's
So
the best
backwards. O sea,
You're
primero-
like, I hear the Space
Right.
Force is nice.
advice. Right.
Wow. You know what? That's the stupidity in me that I immediately said your son, not thinking about that your daughters have the same rights and the same opportunities
Yeah.
to join the military.
Mhm.
And, I always thought that you do it backwards. O sea, what would be, o sea, pregunta, perdona mi ignorancia, pero ¿cuál es el beneficio? Yo veo el military como ok, me voy al military, hago mis años y cuando salgo del military ellos me pagan para ir a la universidad. ¿Cuál es el beneficio de que tú te mates haciendo la universidad y después entres al servicio militar? ¿Por qué?
Because now you go in as an officer. You don't go in as an enlisted. Enlisted is basically like,
the bottom rung.
bottom of the. You go in as an officer. Basically, is you going in as a boss.
Pero ya eso es para hacer una vida militar, porque ¿qué
yeah,
necesidad
you're getting
tienes?
a career out of it. That's a career. You're making
Eso,
a career out of it.
ya,
Mhm.
porque no tienes necesidad si ya terminaste la universidad.
I mean,
What-
do you still go to the same boot camp as the regular people?
Oh,
As an
no,
officer?
No, it's an officer school. Yeah. You
Oh, so you don't go through boot camp?
you go in more as a leader. You're going in there to lead Marines or lead soldiers.
Pero tiene que ser algún tipo de educación específica, así de, yo fui, ¿cómo es que decías? ¿Cuál degree era que
The liberal arts. You can't go into the military and be all high and mighty. Be like, yeah, I'm going to be a lieutenant so-and-so with my liberal arts degree.
tienen que, en mi cerebro yo pienso, no tienen que necesitar personas que hagan hecho un degree de ciencias o un degree de
Right. In
computers,
IT, yeah. Mhm.
right? Porque
Right.
eso es lo que se necesita. No voy a decir de, yo tengo
but
un
the thing
degree en español. O sea, ¿qué van a hacer conmigo con un degree de español? Do they really need me in that sense?
You'll be surprised. They do need people that can translate. I think the most important thing is having that college degree and then they'll put you in the schools that, you know, you need to be able to place you where they need you. That's the thing. Like,
Así como tú fuiste a infantry school, a
Right.
mí me ven y dices, yo tengo un degree en español, le vamos a poner en esta escuela.
right.
Y de ahí...
Because even if you have, let's say, a degree in, I don't know, technology or whatever, you still don't know exactly how the military works. So you still have to go through their training, their schools. To be
Pero
able to-
they won't break me like they broke you. por
I
decirlo
mean,
así.
You still have to go through a boot camp.
Eso te dice él.
You still need to eat a couple crayons.
Yeah.
You're official once you eat one.
Okay, ellos te utilizan como mejor ellos te necesitan.
Right. Yeah.
En algún momento tú hablas de Mongolia, hablas de Japón, hablas de todos estos lugares donde quizás no era necesario o no te ayudaba en nada hablar español. ¿Tú con los Marines fuiste a algún lugar donde hablar español te daba un extra boost?
No, I can't really say that. 8 years that I was in there, I don't think I used it except for, like I said, amongst each other, When,
So you were the designated caller to make, takeout orders?
For the extended warranty.
Cada quien tiene un trabajo. Y ahora, ponte que nosotros estamos como dando un poco de información, ¿no? Para un padre de familia que es first gen, que llegó, que el hijo le dice, me voy a ir a los Marines. ¿Qué le dirías a ese padre de familia o esa madre de familia? Tu pute Marís, así como tu mamá que tuviste que convencerle tú. ¿Qué le dirías tú a ese papá, a esa mamá que te está escuchando?
Yo diría que se informen bien, right? Not everything that's in there in the military is has to be dangerous, There's different jobs. So if that's what, si eso es lo que quiere hacer su hijo o hija, apóyenlo, Don't crush their dreams. I think pushing them towards what they want to do and letting them experience it will just teach them on their own what they need to learn in life,
Mm-hmm. ¿Tú crees que la experiencia tuya es diferente porque estabas activo durante un tiempo de guerra y guerra activa? No estamos hablando de así de, vamos a cubrir los bordes. No, tú estabas sirviendo activamente mientras estaba la guerra con Irak y Afganistán. Y tú serviste durante ese tiempo. ¿Tú crees que tu experiencia fue diferente a cualquier otra persona que estaba como reservist porque estaba la guerra activa?
Yeah, it's definitely a different experience, I mean, I could just notice it from guys that are joining now and people that had joined, prior to 9/11 and got out before, all that happened. And, they're like, their experience was more very passive, I guess you could say. They didn't have to deal with wars or anything like that. So definitely joining at a very difficult time, like, the Iraq War was, it's definitely a much different experience, mentally, mostly.
Do you think that there was any advantage or any disadvantage to joining the military?
Disadvantage? I don't want to say that. I've taken advantage of every, opportunity in there, every benefit that I could, there's a lot of benefits, as far as when you want to buy a house, education, and once you get back, if you've been hurt or there's those benefits that you get paid for the rest of your life. So there's a lot of benefits. I don't want to say that there was a disadvantage in any way. Maybe just being away from family, but other than that, it was something I had to go through.
Okay.
So you don't regret joining the military?
Not at all.
Okay, son 8 años de tu vida bien servidos.
So if you had to do it all over again, would you?
100%. 100%. It has set me up. As far as, like I said, I have a decent job now, and it's thanks to that. I've been able to buy, some properties thanks to that. I've been, like I said, education.
Junior va a tener que regresar para hablar en otro episodio sobre todas las oportunidades de lo que es el real estate, porque tú estás bien heavy en eso, ¿no?
Yeah, I've been doing it for a little bit.
So, eso es otro episodio para el cual te tenemos que tener acá. Pero eso, como tú dices, es uno de los beneficios bien grandes que te ha otorgado el military.
Mm-hmm.
So, eso es chévere, eso es chévere. Bueno, gente, ya sabe, si es que su hijo, su hija está queriendo entrar al military, no le diga que no, déjelo vivir sus sueños. Cada quien tenemos un camino diferente que seguir, y como dice acá mi estimado,
We family.
College is not for everyone.
Oh, that too. I do say that too.
No, la universidad no es para todos. Déjele que vaya, que haga lo que tenga que hacer, que aprenda. La disciplina que se aprende en los Marines definitivamente es tu mamá, tu papá por 10.
Yeah.
Entonces ahí sí que viene.
It's just different, It's that discipline without the love.
Without the love. No validation of feelings in that one.
No. It's like being raised up by step parents that don't love you.
Pretty much.
Pero déjeles que cada quien siga su camino. Aquí tuvo un poquito más de información del proceso que hay que seguir, los exámenes que todavía hay que seguir, que son exámenes escritos, exámenes físicos. Si es que tú estás ahí, estás enlistándote ahora para entrar al military, best of luck. Asegúrate de no partirte ningún hueso acá como el caballero, porque se te hace el bootcamp más largo. y toma todas las oportunidades que te dé el military. Si es que te ponen a aprender cualquier cosa, toma todo eso como una oportunidad de aprendizaje y de saber que tus raíces te han traído hasta aquí, y de aquí tú construyes las alas que te van a llevar hacia el futuro. Con eso nos despedimos de este capítulo. Acuérdate que estés donde estás, aquí estás en familia.
We family now.
Until next time, bye.